When Rock Island Armory says compact, they mean compact. But man, is this thing full of power. You know, Rock Island Armory's been around for over 100 years in a different form. It was a firearms ammunition supply place there in the Philippines. And after World War II, the Towson family, which is the current owners of Rock Island Armory, bought the company and began to produce firearms. Now, one of the things about the Rock Island Armory is that the price is right. And for some guys, that's a big attraction. For others, it makes them very leery. And that was really me for a while. I remember my good buddy Skinny Medic a few years ago bought one of these. It was the original 1911 with the wood grips, very plain. And I did a review on it. In fact, I'll have the link down below. It was just a great shooting gun. And really to my surprise. And then we shot a 1911 full-size government. Same thing. Very good. Functioned well. Shot well. Over the years, Rock Island Armory has definitely upped the ante. They've changed the game and they've really upgraded their pistols. And they've been in the U.S. now for over 30 years. In fact, they're celebrating their 30th anniversary right now. And if you haven't seen it already, I did an interview at the NRA annual meeting 2015 with Martin Towson, the current CEO. Man, the guy is just full of life, and you know, you can't help but like him. And I've known Martin for a few years now, and he is a fantastic guy. Always innovating, always coming up with great ideas. But Rock Island Armory has also begun to open up a manufacturing facility right in Nevada. And so they're going to be making the 1911s right there in the U.S. But first thing we're going to do is get started. Before we get all into the details, we're going to look at the, make sure the gun is unloaded, and it is. It is a 1911 style. It is the officer's model size. Now this is the M1911A1 CS. You will notice that if you ever go to the Rock Island Armory website or the Arms Corps website, the different models for the 1911 are the FS, which is for the full size, and then the MS, which is the medium size, which is more of your commander size, and then the CS, which is your compact size. Those are the three designations, and of course Colt started all three of those. But one of the things to note about Rock Island Armory is they produce more 1911s than anyone else in the world. The reason why their company is doing so well is because these handguns are excellent. For the money, they're very difficult to beat. And one of the great things about the Rock Island Armory line is they have a full lifetime warranty on them. So if you happen to have any kind of problems, guys, I'll tell you, you can send it back, and their customer service is excellent. If you ever, though, have any issues with any of the Rock Island Armory products, it's typically the magazine. Here we have an upgraded magazine. Now it says Arms Corps. It's a 7-in-1, which this does hold 7-in-1. So it's a 3.5-inch barrel. The finish on the gun is a Parkerized finish. And one of the things that's really great about the new models is they've removed the big Rock Island Armory right here on the side of the slide, and they've moved it right back here to a little laser etching, which really makes this gun look a lot better in my opinion. I never was really a big fan of the big billboard here. In fact, I have a couple of Rock Island Armory pistols. I have one of the 10mm. I have one of the older 22 TCMs, which I just did a review on the 22 TCM. What a fantastic round that is. It just, again, speaks of Rock Island Armory's pursuing just improving the firearms, improving calibers, bringing out new designs. Even though they are using the 1911 style for their base model. That's really what Rock Island Armory is known for, and for good reason. Now, on this pistol, we're going to look at some of the different features. And one of the big things you're going to notice right away is the VZ grips, or the G10 grips. These are made by VZ, by the way. You see the beaver tail. It's a really nice full beaver tail with the memory notch. It really allows your hand to ride really high on the pistol. The 1911 has a really low bore axis, and the beaver tail really helps accentuate that feature. Now, one of the great things about a low bore axis is that your hand rides really high up next to the slide, and so when the slide comes back after the round is fired, it rides really low in your hand. If the slide is higher, there's going to be more mass here, and when it comes up, it's going to tend to flip just a little bit more. You'll see here it has ambidextrous safeties. They are extended. It has a commander hammer, which fits really nice into the beaver tail. Has one of the skeletonized triggers, and it does have a trigger stop adjustment screw right here to get a really good trigger, and we're going to look at that in just a minute. Standard slide stop, standard mag release. Mag release is very positive. The magazine goes in very well, and of course it pops out really well, as you can see. No binding, and of course there are a lot of other aftermarket magazines that will go in the 1911, even the officer's model. This is a 7-in-1 magazine, like I've stated. It is a really nice blue finish on it, but one of the things about this pistol is it only comes with one magazine, which I'd really like to see a couple. Of course, you have 45 ACP on one side and then Armscor on the other, but you do have Italy, and that usually means that this is a Metgar mag, which makes about 75% of all the mags for all the pistols of most of your major brands. And it does have a nice little polymer base plate, which really mates well with the pistol. Once it's inserted, as you can see, it has a really nice look to it. Doesn't have a steel lip that comes out. Just very well done. Everything is very smooth, and all the features on this gun, very smooth and really ready for concealed carry. The finish on the outside of the pistol is extremely well done. The parkerization is very smooth. It's not too rough. And over time, also, it will wear to make it look even better. Oil soaks into it. It really makes it nice. Parkerization was developed during World War II to protect from saltwater environments and for corrosion and rust and things like that. So the parkerization has been around for a long, long time, and it's held up very well. Serrations are well done, typical 1911 style. Bringing the action back is very easy to do. It's not excessive, which makes it really nice. The sights themselves are excellent. I mean, you have a 2-dot adjustable, fully adjustable sight on the back, and then you have a nice fiber optic sight on the front, and this really makes this glow during the daylight. It has a flat metal mainspring housing, and it has a nice beveled magwell. This makes it really easy to be able to get those magazines into that magwell. It just funnels them in. This is really a nice feature, and really it doesn't detract from the size of the gun. It does give you a little more right here in the meat of your hand, but it doesn't stick too far out. Sometimes magwells can stick out a little bit too much. It does feature torque screws right here for your grips. These are torque screws with bushings. One thing also to note is that it does have a crowned barrel, which makes that really nice. If you have any dings or nicks or anything, they're going to occur on the outside of the barrel instead of into the rifling, which really helps this and continues the accuracy on this pistol. The front of the slide has been beveled, and you'll notice that it is a bushingless design, very similar to the officer's model. The barrel does flare out and mates very well to the slide.
Now, one of the things here, if you'll notice, there's no barrel bushing. The barrel bushing is what really holds your barrel in place in relation to your slide, and this allows for the accuracy to be better. A tighter fitting bushing will give you better accuracy typically. Now, obviously, you see this is a bushingless 1911 design, but the barrel comes out and bails out and then meets with the slide. And obviously they've done this right, because the accuracy is very well done. I had an officer's model years ago, Colt officer's model, and it would keyhole. It just never seemed to get it right. And that was one of the things about this pistol that I really like. It seems to really give you good accuracy at whatever distance. Now, obviously, you get out to long-range distances, you're going to start to lose it because of your sight radius, more than anything. But with this setup and these sights, I think you're going to find this is going to be a very accurate pistol.
It does feature a full-length guide rod, which I really like. To me, I know a lot of guys are kind of iffy about it with the traditional bushing and the recoil spring, and then the small little short guide rod. To me, the smaller guide rod will allow a little more binding with the recoil spring, but a full length guide rod allows that recoil spring to ride and compress a little more smoothly. And I feel like that does translate into some smoother action, which will translate into less felt recoil. Now the G10 grips do have a finger groove right here. It makes it really nice to put that thumb right in that groove. Now naturally I want to take my thumb and rest it up over that safety because it is an extended safety, but it tends to be uncomfortable when you're shooting that way. With this thumb groove right here in the VZ grips, it makes it really nice to go ahead and bring that thumb down. This is very comfortable to shoot. The grips are textured, and of course here we have small divots, and then we have little slats that come down. They're not too aggressive, but yet it really allows you to grab hold of the pistol. With the serrations on the mainspring housing, and then you've got serrations right here on the front of the grip. Here you can see the Rock Island Armory logo. It's very tastefully done, very small at the back of the slide. Here, there's nothing here on the slide, and obviously nothing here. So it really makes it a nice finish and a nice look to it. Right here you have your serial number, and then the M1911A1 CS for compact slide or compact size. And then we have Tactical 2. This is the tactical model. But this is also called the Ultra Tactical 2. The standard tactical has just black grips with the Rock Island Armory logo here in diamond shapes here and here. It does have the beaver tail and the commander hammer, and the sights are a little different. They are good target sights, but they're not fiber optic. They're not the 3-dot. And then they have just the GI model with just wood grips. It does have a commander hammer and the beaver tail. It does not have the extended safeties, and it has your standard GI sights. So this is really a great upgrade. And when you get up to the upgrades, the price just runs up incrementally from your standard GI to your regular tactical to your Ultra Tactical 2. And this is, to me, it's well worth the extra effort because of the parts. I mean, really, if you're going to put aftermarket parts on this gun, you might as well go ahead and get the Ultra 2. The ejection port has been extended, and this allows for reliable feeding. One of the things about reliable feeding is that this pistol, I shot about 200 rounds through it today, and I've shot about 200 rounds prior to today. Doing a lot of range shooting, taking it with some of my friends and just shooting it. And not one malfunction, not one failure to feed, no hiccups whatsoever. The magazine held back on the last round every time. Now again, the barrel is 3.5 inches. The total length of the pistol is 7.39 inches. The height is 5.5 inches. Again, it's really in line with the officer's model. So it's a really compact size. One of the things though is it weighs 35 ounces. It's an all steel frame, so it's going to be pretty weighty as far as for concealed carry, but the size is right. And especially if you're going to wear this on a belt, that's a great way to carry this with a coat or something over it. But, you know, it really gives it a lot of heft. And one of the great things is because of the weight, shooting 45 ACP, it really makes it comfortable to shoot. They do make a 9mm version in this as well, which is very popular. I personally enjoy 45 ACP. I learned on 45 ACP 1911s. And so this is really just, it's like coming home. I love the 1911 design.
Now traditionally with the officer's model, they tend to be somewhat unreliable. Over the years, that's what I've found. But with this pistol, I shot over 400 rounds, not one hiccup. Magazine stayed back after each magazine was spent. You know, it just really did well. The recoil management on it is very nice. I think a lot of that has to do with this really deep beaver tail. The VZ grips definitely help. And then with the full-length guide rod, you're going to have a very consistent, smooth action coming back and forth. And that's what I have to account it for because it just really is a nice shooting gun.
Okay, we're going to check the trigger pull. 4 pounds, 11.8 ounces with the Lyman trigger gauge. Got this at Brownells. 5 pounds. 5 pounds, 2 ounces. So we're getting close to the 5-pound range, and that's not any different than what I've done off camera. 5 pounds 1 ounce. Okay, because of the full-length guide rod in the officer's model, and because it lacks a barrel bushing, you're really going to need a paper clip to be able to disengage the full-length guide rod, and I'm going to show you how you do that. First thing you do is, of course, bring the slide all the way back and just verify that the gun is unloaded. You'll need to take the magazine out anyway. Now, in the guide rod, there's a small little hole, and you'll need to take that paper clip and just place it into the hole. Once it's in place, you can drop your slide. Now that disengages the recoil spring, so your slide should easily move back and forth. You're going to find this little notch, and this is typical for your 1911. Push out your slide stop, and it'll come right out. And then just go ahead and bring your slide forward and off the frame. Now we're just going to bring the recoil spring out like this, and you can see that it is captured right here, and this will actually give you another look at that small little hole. Of course, this little cover is going to place itself right here next to this paper clip to keep it from coming out. Now take your barrel link and just place it forward and then push your barrel straight out. Now here you can see the bevel of the barrel. And this does mate up to the slide. It's a really good fit, and it really allows for good accuracy. The interior of the slide is very well done, very few tooling marks. I know in some of the early versions they had a little bit more of a rougher finish, but Rock Island Armory has come a long way at really finely finishing their pistols. Same thing with their frame, very well executed. It is the 70 series style, which I personally like. It gives it a much better trigger pull. When you get into all the things that are going on with the 80 series and the hammer block, it does interfere with a really smooth trigger. Now with the barrel, it has a really nice polish to it, and then if you'll notice, the feed ramp is extremely polished. I mean, that is almost a mirror finish on that. That's going to really allow for very positive feeding and nothing to get hung up. And here we have the pistol field stripped. Reassembly is just in reverse order. Take your barrel link, place it down on your barrel, right through the front of the slide. This gun has not been cleaned since it's been shot, so it is going to have a little bit of residue here and there. We'll take our guide rod and recoil spring, get it into place. Now watch your barrel link, because that's where you're going to put your slide stop, through that little link. I like to go ahead and get my barrel link in place and take my slide stop and just get it started, and then go ahead and bring my slide back with this little notch right here. Now be real careful, because what you don't want to do is to push it too far up and scratch your slide. Just like that, it'll snap right into place. Now we're going to go ahead and bring our slide all the way back and engage our slide lock, and then we can remove the paper clip, release your slide lock, and bring the pistol down. Double check for function, and it's all done. The pistol does come in a really nice hard plastic case with the Rock Island Armory logo. It comes with a CD with a lot of the different things of Rock Island Armory, which is a pretty cool CD. 2 spent cases from the factory, your owner's manual, your warranty card, all those things. In the box itself, reveals a pistol, your extra magazine. It also has one of the flags for empty chamber indicators. So it's just a really well finished box with real close foam, and it's really nice. Now as far as price goes, the manufacturer suggested retail price for the 1911 A1 CS Ultra Tactical runs $760. I saw it at Bud's Gun Shop for $575, which is an extremely reasonable price for all the features you're getting here. Now you can find the standard tactical for around $493. So that really brings it down if you don't really care about the VZ grips and a few of the other features that come with this gun. The sights, you want a little bit more just target sights. So, you know, you can come in, and then if you want to go with the GI model, it's much cheaper. And so it really gives you a lot of options even within the Rock Island line. And so I think that, you know, it's just an excellent way to enter into the 1911 without spending $1,000, because that's typically what more of your basic model 1911s can run. And of course, they can go way up above that price as well. Now, you can find more about the Rock Island line of pistols, not only their 1911s, but their revolvers. They have rifles. They have another line of 9mm polymer pistols. And you can find all those at the Rock Island Armory website at, again, us.armscorps.com. They do produce a really fine line of ammunition, the Arms Corps ammunition, very reasonable, produced there in Nevada. And again, they will be producing firearms there, or if they haven't already started. One of the things about the 1911, and one of the things that Martin specifically is on a mission to accomplish, is to provide 1911s that are good quality, reliable handguns just for your average guy, for your average gun owner. Not an elitist brand, but something that every American, and in over 50 countries where they import, can enjoy the taste of freedom, because the 1911 is a symbol of our U.S. military since World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and even in the Gulf War and others. Of course, you know, they switched to the Beretta 92 in 1985, but the 1911 has still served U.S. Armed Forces and still does today. And so the 1911 is an American icon. And even though this is made in the Philippines was a big ally for us during World War II and took a lot of the action of the Japanese occupation and a lot of other things during that time. And so it has a rich heritage, and, you know, I just think 1911s are excellent anyway, and it's just a great way to be able to afford one.
The Rock Island Armory CS Tactical, thumbs way up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.
And so those are just some things that, okay, wait, it does have a command hammer. It has a nice aluminum, I don't think that's aluminum, with it up here on that extended mag release. I mean, okay, on your safeties, and, you know, some, I don't know, let's see what else is that.
Okay, I always say that. And people go, "You're too positive, Suits." Well, I like guns, for crying out loud.